here today with a book haul. It's been a while since I made a video. I thought I would come back on here with treats. So I'm going to be sharing some books that I've gotten recently. Some of them are books that I bought myself for the Run Right Reads book club. A few of them are books that have been sent by publishers. Just a couple of those. But most of these are Caribbean books. And so I'll start off by announcing the books for the next few months of the Run Right Reads book club. I'm sorry I haven't been keeping up with announcing the book club books in advance on here. I've been so much more active on Instagram. The last few months have been a little bit of a struggle. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I have a daughter. The couple of days before she was born, I was on here making videos. The day after we came home from the hospital, I made a video. I've been including her in my videos ever since she's been around. But as she's gotten older, it's gotten a little bit more challenging sometimes making videos with her. I recorded this video yesterday, but just there's so many moving parts when she's around that sometimes I feel like I don't do you guys justice by including the chaos that's here. I don't know, we'll see. But I do make videos with her. If this is the first time that you're clicking on a video of mine, welcome, thank you for being here. Would love to meet you in the comments, so go ahead, leave me a comment and let me know if that's the case. And if you've been here for a while, you might miss her because she's such a personality. My daughter is a year and 9 months old, but she's such a personality. I feel like I want to share the video that we recorded yesterday. Maybe I'll do that. As well. But today I'm going to share with you books that I have gotten recently. I don't know why it takes me so long to get to things. So, starting with the announcement for the Run Right Reads book club. So last month, the month of July, we read books that were set in the Dominican Republic. Just to back up a little bit, if again this is your first time hearing about the Run Right Reads book club, this year my goal is for us to read a different Caribbean country every month. So each month we read 2 novels, 2 different authors, 2 different voices coming from the same place, and we feel like I feel like we're better able to experience the country by getting 2 different voices. So we've been loving the people who have been discussing the books with. We've been loving what we've read so far. I feel like we've learned some things about Caribbean history and Caribbean culture. So last month we read the Dominican Republic, and so we read In the Time of the Butterflies by Julia Alvarez. The other novel that we read was The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde by Junot Diaz. I don't have a physical copy. I read a copy of that from the library. Both of these were rereads for me. So I'm gonna do a video where I discuss these books a little bit more in depth. This one is probably written for a younger audience. Julia Alvarez is very well known as a voice from the Caribbean, a voice from the Dominican Republic. In this novel, she fictionalizes a true story of 4 sisters, the Mirabal sisters, who grew up in the 1960s around the time of the Trujillo dictatorship, and because of their vehement opposal to the government and the politics, 3 of the sisters were killed, and we're reading from the perspective of the surviving sister, going through just her life and her talking about her relationships with her sisters and how they experience life as different people with similar background. Love this book. I'm not going to talk about the Junot Diaz book because I don't have it here. This is a book haul, right? So this is one of the books that I bought myself recently. This month of August, Run Right Reads book club is reading Grenada. And so I bought myself 2 books. The first one is Force Ripe by Cindy McKenzie, and Cindy McKenzie is this lady right here, and this is autofiction. This is her fictionalizing a part of her life growing up in Grenada, left behind by a mother who goes off to another country to work, and a father who is physically present for some time but emotionally absent. And so she's being raised by family members and then later by family friends who abuse her. She is emotionally abused, physically abused, sexually abused later on. And we start reading when she's about 6, and it's just very disturbing to see how much trauma a child can endure and how she compartmentalizes her life to not allow her spirit to be dulled, like how she's able to move on. So that's not what's disturbing. The thing that's disturbing is what happens to her and how the people who are supposed to be protecting her allow this to happen, but also just how different priorities and different values and different ambitions impact the children. I read this one a couple of months ago. I think I read this in June during the Caribathon. So now we're going to be reading it for the book club, and I'm looking forward to discussing it and talking more about it with you guys. So another thing that happens in this book, so it doesn't just focus on what happens with this little girl, we're also focusing on some of the politics in Grenada. But because the child is so young while these things are happening, it's in the 1970s, 1980s, there is the Rastafarian movement growing, and her father becomes a Rastafarian man, and so she is living the life of she's living a life in the system, but she doesn't understand a lot of what's happening. She knows the things that are happening to her, but she may not understand the bigger picture. So there is a little bit of a limitation in this book because it doesn't deal with the bigger picture. So I picked up Operation Desert Rat by Kamal McBarnett, and this one focuses on the political revolution in Grenada at that time. So in 1983, in October, President Reagan of the United States, the president at that time, launched an invasion of Grenada because there was a political coup. And so this book focuses on some of the political prisoners. It says in the synopsis that this is a docudrama operating at several levels. They are the highly resourceful rats which inhabit Richmond Hill Prison in Grenada. They engage in fierce nightly battles for the food of the 17 surviving leaders of the Grenada Revolution. So this one is going to look a little bit more at the politics, and this one examines the culture as it's seen through the eyes of a child. So these are the two books that we're reading in August to experience Grenada. I don't know if we're doing Grenada a disservice by looking at two kind of hard-hitting books, but it's a part of Grenadian history, and those are the books that I found that were readily available. Like they're on Amazon as paperback as well as Kindle, so it was easy to access. A lot of books by Caribbean authors are not published in the United States right away, and so they may be popular books if you can get them, but if we can't get them, then we can't read them. So I chose those two books because they're readily available. So that's Grenada for August. In September, we're going to be visiting St. Lucia, and I'm excited because one is a book that I just bought, and the other is a book that I've had since last year, I think. And I've read it a couple of times, but I really want to read it a little bit more deeply. So this is the book that I just bought recently. This is Nor Any Country. The author is Garth St. Omer. And the companion book that I chose is Omeros by Derek Walcott. This one I've had for a while, and I'm looking forward to rereading it. This one is a little bit of a retelling of Homer's Odyssey, kind of. And this one, so let me explain. Sorry. So yeah, in this one we have Derek Walcott kind of telling the story of people who leave home. So he's focusing on people who live in this fishing village and what it's like when they're away, what it's like when they return. He also shows characters who leave St. Lucia on a more permanent basis, people who immigrate or emigrate, and what their life is like as immigrants. And then in this one, we are focusing on one specific young man who has left St. Lucia and he's gone to Jamaica as a university professor, so not a low-level migrant worker, right? And so something happens and he has to go back to St. Lucia, and we're looking at St. Lucia through the eyes of a resident, a citizen, a non-resident citizen, I guess. Someone who's gone away and has brought new perspective and is seeing things maybe through a different lens. So I haven't read this one yet, but these are the two books that are the Run Right Reads book club picks for September. So, new haul, not so new haul. And then one more Caribbean book. This one was sent to me by Vintage Publishers from England. The Mermaid of Black Conch by Monique Oroffi. This is the book that won the 2020 Costa Book of the Year Award. And I've heard a lot of really great things about this book, so I'm going to be reading it pretty soon. But I haven't read it yet. But I'm very excited because Vintage reached out to me. Like, you know, sometimes social media people, influencers will tell you that some company reached out to them when really they've been sending emails like left, right, and center, and finally a company said, yes, we will. They say, yeah, this company reached out to me. No, this time, listen, I've sent my own share of emails to companies, to publishers. Please send me this book. Sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't. But this time, Vintage in the United Kingdom sent me a direct message on Instagram and asked me if I would like a copy of this new cover, the new, I guess the re-release of this book. And I was like, yes, I would, because I've been hearing about this book. I didn't really love the cover. This was originally published by People Tree Press, and it actually says it right here. Originally published by People Tree Press. So People Tree is a pretty small press. I mean, I won't say that they're independent, but they're a small publisher in England. This is their mark, and you know, it's really good that they are publishing books that may not have reached this audience, especially in the United States, because like I just said, a lot of Caribbean books, you know, you might know them or know about them, want to read them, and can't get access to them because books that are published in Jamaica, you're not gonna find those books on Amazon unless someone is selling a used copy. So I'm really happy that People Tree Press makes their books available, and if you go to their website, you can purchase these books. The price they're quoted in British currency. Is that a pound sterling? Quoted in British currency, but they will convert and they will ship to the United States. There's like a £5 fee, yeah. So People Tree Press originally published this book, and I think because it's a smaller press, when the book won the Costa Book of the Year, they realized how much money was involved, and so I don't know if that's why, but Vintage re-released it, and I really like this cover. And then Vintage also sent me a tote bag. So I'm gonna include this in my haul because I really love this tote bag. I've been using it every day since it came. I have used it almost every day. I wash it, because I use it to tote around stuff. Like it's small, it's perfect, it's light, and it fits my wallet and snacks and my daughter's snacks and more of my daughter's snacks, my daughter's sunglasses, some pocket wipes, my pen, yeah, I think everything else that I would have put in there is currently in my purse, my wallet. This video is getting sidetracked, but yes, I really love that tote bag. I use it every day. So the book, The Mermaid of Black Conch, small synopsis. It says, near the island of Black Conch, a fisherman sings to himself while waiting for a catch. But he attracts a sea dweller that he never expected, an innocent young woman cursed by jealous wives to live as a mermaid. And then some American tourists capture this mermaid and he has to rescue her or something like that. I haven't read it yet, but I will very soon because I'm really excited. So the author is from Trinidad. That is the author right there, Monique Roffey. But Black Conch is a fictional place. So I don't know if we'll experience Trinidad through that book, but we've already read Trinidad for the Run Right Reads book club. So yeah, those are the books that I have purchased myself or been gifted that were Caribbean reads. I have a couple other books, 3 other books here that I will share with you just because they're here. This is a book that I just read a couple of days ago. This one was sent to me by Penguin Random House, The Mismatch by Sarah Jafari. We're reading about two Iranian women. One was born in Iraq. Let me start over. We're reading about a young woman of Iranian descent named Soraya, and we're also reading the story of her mother, who was born in Iran and moved to England as a young woman, moved there with her husband. So we're reading present day of a young woman of Iranian background living in England, and then we're also interspersing chapters with flashbacks to when her mother was about her age, and seeing the very different relationships that these two women have with men, how they entertain the men in their lives. The older woman, the mother figure, chose to be conservative, like she chose to wear a hijab because she realized that it protected her, and her daughter doesn't wear a hijab, but she's a lot more free because she's living in a different time, in a different place. And so it's really interesting how the author presents these two different views of women of similar background living in England. Interesting. The story itself is interesting. The writing it was a little wordy, like the description, it was too much description of setting, and I felt like it kept taking me out of the story, away from the plot a little bit, but I enjoyed it. So I'm going to be talking a little bit more about it I'm going to talk about it in my vlog. If you watch my vlog, my reading vlog, which I think I'm going to post later today or tomorrow, might even go up before this video, look for reading vlog. It's where I do the Dewey's modified Dewey's 24-hour readathon. That's the book that I read during that video. So other books that Penguin Random House sent me, they sent me Passing by Nella Larson. My daughter scribbled on it yesterday with a pen. First time I picked this book up, it was beautiful. I was even considering maybe gifting it to someone after I'd read it. But Nella Larson's novel focuses on white passing, people of African descent who are really light complexioned and who can get away with passing for a white person. So in this one, we are seeing the difference between two women who have very similar appearance, but one is living her life as the black woman that she is, and one has passed, she's crossed over, and the people in her life now see her as a white person, so they're treating her that way. And so when these two women get together, I guess we get to compare how their lives are, I guess whether they're happy or not. I haven't read this one yet, and it's really interesting because I've read Britt Bennett's The Vanishing Half, which is very similar in concept. Two sisters, twin sisters, who one chooses to live as a white woman, and so the people in her life don't know that she's black, and so the people she's around, some of them are racist, and as a matter of fact, she spews racist comments. Yeah, The Vanishing Half is a great book, which I have read and I think talked about here. So I hadn't read this one, and this is the classic. This one was, when was Passing first published? I don't know. does it not say in here? It doesn't matter. It's a classic. It's been, the author died in 1964, so it was published before then. It also says that Nella Larson, she was the first African American woman to receive a Guggenheim Fellowship, so that's good. That's great to know. So yeah, that was sent to me by Penguin Random House. They also sent me A Passage to India by E.M. Forster, and this one is focusing on a woman, I guess a British woman who goes to India at the time of the colonization of India by England. And so this young woman named Adela, she arrives in India searching for realness, but she quickly grows disillusioned with this prejudiced colonial community, and so she and a companion seek the guidance of a young Muslim physician, and it's, I guess, talking about the different experiences of visitors and natives in India. Passage to India. This is also a re-release. E.M. Forster died in 1970. He was nominated for the Nobel Prize in Literature in 17 different years. I think he has never won because I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, A Passage to India by E.M. Forster has been on my TBR for a while, so I was really happy when Penguin Random House re-released it and made it available for me. So those are some books that I have gotten recently. I'm trying to come back on here with a presence. So books, treats for me and for you. All these books I'm going to be reading soon and going to be telling you about them. So if this again is your first time watching one of my videos, I'm just so happy to have you, and I hope that you'll subscribe, like this video, thumbs up if you liked it, and you know, chat with me in the comments about these books or other books. If you'd like to discuss books with me for the Run Right Reads book club, I have a Zoom link. We discuss the books on Zoom on the final Sunday of each month. So that's what we're going to be doing in the next few months anyway. And this month, like I said, we're reading Grenada, and the author of Forthright, Cindy McKenzie, is going to be on our Zoom discussion. I'm very excited to have her and have her discuss the book with the ladies. Right now it's ladies in the book club, but we'd love to have some men. So if you're a man watching this video and you'd like to participate in our Zoom discussion, reach out to me. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know that you want the Zoom link, and I'll be happy to share it with you. And I'd love to chat with you about what books you've gotten recently that you're most excited about. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, happy reading. Bye.